There's wetness in my face. And that's bullshit. I didn't lie to you in the title. I really didn't have an idea for this video. If I'm going to be completely honest, I was considering going back to doing psychic readings. I'm still considering that, but I was considering starting it tonight. I mean, when I was going to do it in the basement, and then I had a ridiculously unrealistic fear that I was going to run into a spider, because I just did run into a spider, and my mom wouldn't let me kill it. She fought me on it, and I was like, let me smash it. And she was like, let me get it in a cup. And I have like extreme arachnophobia, so I like to know spiders are dead. I don't like to think that they could come back. And courtesy of the spider, the alternative was putting him out in the snow, where he's just going to have a slow, painful death. Because we live where weather is a lie. It's supposedly spring, but it's snowing anyway. Goddamn Slim Jims. But yeah, if nobody tunes in, I might not even stay live, because then at least I can say I attempted. But I'm hungry. Man, I don't even know if I feel like doing it tonight. I kind of just want to, like, I don't know, watch a movie or something. My chair is broken. Zach broke my goddamn chair. I had to order a new one. It's coming in a couple days. Doing my live stream. I don't know, I'm not really feeling it tonight. But maybe I will if more people tune in. That could make it interesting. It helps to know that I'm missed. Nevertheless, I never said that I would be going live for a specific amount of time. I just say that I go live at 8 p.m. I didn't say that I was going to be live for like an hour. So I could do this for 15 minutes, half hour. I can do whatever I want. I'm a little ahead of schedule this week. I'm just eating Slim Jims. I got my Tuesday video made and uploaded already. So that only concerns me. You guys are still not going to be able to watch it until Tuesday. This is the usual time on my other channel. But for me, I don't have to rush. Royce said, you tell him, Tristan. What am I telling him? I don't know what that's in reference to. I think there's a delay. And the delay isn't with the comments. Like, I'm sure the comments come through as soon as you type them. I think the issue is just that there's a lag on your end. Because if I go to my YouTube channel on my other device right now and I try to listen to this, I'm willing to bet that I'm going to hear something I said, like, I don't know, 15 seconds ago. Let's find out. YouTube channel on my other device right now and I try to listen to this, I'm willing to bet that I'm going to hear something I said, like, I don't know, 15 seconds ago. Let's find out. You know what? I have a trick. I'm going to time it. I'm going to wait till it gets to exactly 5 minutes. Now. Okay. Let's count. I'm going to wait till it gets to exactly 5 minutes. It's an 11-second delay. Let's count. Or maybe 10. 10 or 11. That's the delay. So when you guys leave comments, I will not see them for about 10 seconds. That's, now I know. Hi Cheryl. Oh yeah, no promises in my length of streaming. When I was doing the free psychic readings, I would say from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., but I stopped doing those, and in my new schedule, if you look at my channel banner, it just says live streams at 8 p.m. on Sundays, so I no longer clarify anything. They may seize Trump Tower. You and your eating on live 3 weeks in a row now. Yeah, this time was my fault. Nobody brought me food, you know, I was just hungry, and I had Slim Jims in here that I had been eyeing, and I hadn't eaten them for like a week, and I was like, I'm tired of waiting. What am I waiting for? I want my goddamn Slim Jims. Hey, Kenny. I'm glad people are actually tuning in. I wasn't as passionate this week. I didn't have a title. I just was like, I don't know, let's just fucking hang out. Do I have another video called Let's Hang Out? Because I don't want to be having multiple videos with the same title. And if I do, I like to put the date in parentheses just to make it stand out. Looks like I do have another Let's Hang Out. I'll put the date in parentheses then. What was it? September 13th? Ooh. Okay. Problem solved. Have you never danced for us? I don't know. I mean, you can't really see just the upper half of my body. So you'll see me dance someday. I can dance. I enjoy dancing. Although I would prefer, if you're gonna see me dance, that it's in a more professional context rather than me just randomly doing it. He has sung for us though. That I don't mind doing. That I can do anytime, anywhere. I don't have as much anxiety over singing as dancing. Nevertheless, they are things I can both do. They are both things I can do. Not I can both do. I am only one person after all. And I, being that one person, happen to also be a grammar Nazi. I'll get you. There was an empty, in my box of Slim Jims, one of the Slim Jims was just a wrapper with nothing in it. I think it, which one was it? Like they tried to jip me, and I'm offended. Because look at this. There was never anything in here. You don't see, like, on either end. It's unopened. This is just what it looks like. It's bullshit. One. Well, actually, hold on. Let me count them, because they're supposed to only be 14. Maybe they didn't actually jip me. Oh, I see. It turns out that, there are actually 14 Slim Jims in here, and this blank one would have been the 15th. Not sure how that happened. Did you say where Zach is tonight? I didn't. To be perfectly honest, I don't know where he is. he was trying to do Instacart, but he had an issue with the app, and he said apparently everybody's having an issue with it, so I don't know. I don't know what he's doing right now. He's probably going to text me that he's going to sleep before I end the live stream. I turned on Do Not Disturb, unfortunately, so I won't get the text. I have to, though, because if I don't have Do Not Disturb turned on while I'm doing these live streams, an issue could happen where someone tries to call me and then it messes up the audio. Like, I got a spam call once, and I had to end the live stream early because it just ruined it. So, yeah, okay. Dave is normally the one to ask me where Zach is. God damn it. Can't open these. And to be perfectly honest, Slim Jims are the main reason I keep a pair of these in my room. Problem fucking solved. Yes, he stole your line. Oh, man. Do I know who that is? Mike Verified? I don't think I've ever seen that account before. Man, I do kind of miss the days when I would go live every week and I would do psychic readings, and I knew as I was doing them that my grandma was going to watch them, and I was excited, I was proud of myself. I just feel like I've lost the passion for it. And I even got nervous that I had lost the ability to do it. The last time I gave a reading, the first couple minutes of it, I was having a fucking panic attack. But I even had a nightmare about that, which is somewhere in my mind, I guess. But I'm okay now. I'm okay. Eating again, yeah. I'm hungry. That's it. Last time it was because someone got me food, but this time it's just because I had these Slim Jims in my room and I wanted to eat them. But don't worry, it's just Slim Jims. It won't be the whole time. Unless I do a shorter live, and I don't know.
You can have three different things happening here. Let's go from least likely to most likely. Number one, you have old hag syndrome. She's a nasty, dark energy, witch-looking character who moves from person to person, stealing their energy by holding them down at night.
My friend sent me this thread about capitalism, and as I was reading it, I didn't even finish reading it, but as I was reading it, I thought, wow, this is a lot like what I talk about in the video that I made for my other channel for Tuesday. So you got, beg your pardon. So you guys will see that video on Tuesday at noon, like always. And I added Friday live streams to my other channel, so I'm gonna do it on Friday too, on that channel, and still at 8 on this channel. But I want to read this thread to you just to get your thoughts, because as I was reading it, I was like, this is kind of like what I was saying in that video that I filmed already, and I didn't even make the connection. I just felt like I needed to talk, so I just did. And the video is called Why We Work. So if you want to be notified of the premiere, you can go to the channel. People often assume that capitalism is defined by markets and trade, but markets and trade existed for thousands of years before capitalism. Capitalism is only 500 years old. So what is distinctive about this economic system? Three things. Well, more, but three for now. One, first and most importantly, it is defined by enclosure and artificial scarcity. The origins of capitalism lie in a systematic effort by elites to restrict people's access to commons and independent subsistence. That word is not clicking in my brain. Substances? That's not what it is. Subsistence. It is subsistence. as long as you know the word I'm saying, in order to render them reliant on wage labor for survival. Over the past 500 years, this has taken the form of privatization of commons, forced dispossession, destruction of subsistence economies, and particularly in the colonies, taxing people in a currency they do not have in order to induce them to seek wages in that currency. This continues today with attempts to ensure an artificial scarcity of access to essential goods such as housing, healthcare, education, transit, and so on, goods that could very easily be provided at high quality on a universal public basis. Where universal public goods do exist, these have usually been won by long-standing struggles by labor movements and other progressive forces, including the anti-colonial movement. Second, capitalism is organized around and dependent on perpetual expansion, meaning ever-increasing production of commodified goods. It is the only intrinsically expansionary economic system in history, meaning it basically has a crisis if it doesn't continually expand. Crucially, under capitalism, the purpose of increasing production is not primarily to meet human needs, but rather to extract and accumulate profit. That is the overriding objective. It is also the main objective of innovation. Let me check for comments. I bet your passion for reading will come back. You are so good at it. We don't mind the eating. Makes me hungry. Speaking of which, I've been holding this in my hand. Let me finish it. It's important to distinguish here between small businesses, which quite often operate with a steady state, use value logic, use value logic, I'm sorry, had to look at where the hyphen was there, and which obviously preceded capitalism, and corporations whose main objective is expansion and accumulation, which define the capitalist era. To sustain the process of perpetually increasing surplus accumulation, capital requires an ever-rising quantity of inputs, labor and nature, and requires that these inputs be obtained as cheaply as possible. Are you guys with me so far? Just in case I didn't say this, this is a post my friend sent me. And I never know if YouTube is lying to me. It's telling me that only one person is watching. So, if I have more than one person here, let me know that you're here, and I'll wait 10 seconds, since there's a 10-second delay, apparently. Is it just Dave? It seems to just be Dave. Well, nevertheless, okay. This introduces a constant pressure to... Oh, Cheryl's here too. Okay, good. This introduces a constant pressure to depress real wages and attack environmental protections wherever possible in the absence of countervailing political forces. The result is a system that, left to itself, automatically generates inequality and ecological breakdown. Finally, capitalism is notable for precluding democratic decision-making, even in countries that prize political democracy. Democratic principles are rarely allowed to operate in the sphere of production, where decisions are made overwhelmingly by those who control capital. The result is that decisions about what to produce, for what purposes, for whose benefit, and under what conditions are generally made in the narrow interests of the capitalist class. Workers, the people actually doing the production, rarely get a voice at all. It is worth pondering how our production priorities and our treatment of labor and nature might be different under conditions of economic democracy. Existing evidence suggests that democratic conditions lead to less exploitation, more equality, and more care for ecology. In sum, the tendency to equate capitalism with markets and trade naturalizes a system that is not natural and prevents us from having a clear-eyed view of how it operates and how we might want to do things differently. The quote more I referred to involves exploitative relations of race, gender, imperial power, which are effects of the tendencies described here and which sustain them, but this deserves a thread unto itself, coming soon. We can have a democratic economy organized around meeting human needs at a high standard, where production is socially just and ecologically regenerative. Such a system is possible, but it will require a political movement to bring it into being. Okay, so in very different wording, that is basically what I said in my upcoming video, because I don't think it's really something that you need someone to like break down and explain to you in terms like that. All you really need is to just start thinking about things that you already know. And I try my best to do that in my own way. I find that I'm better at explaining things when I'm explaining my own idea. Um, which I think is true for most people, you know? Otherwise, you have to get a really deep understanding of someone else's idea, and that doesn't always happen. So, yeah, I also try not to use the term capitalism too much because I know that a lot of people like capitalism and don't really know what it is. And I don't feel like I need to use that term in order to explain why things the way we're doing them now are not working. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But I think that also just kind of, what I just read kind of sums it up. Still gonna have another Slim Jim. I have 8 left, including this one. So, will I eat all 8 of them on this live stream? I don't know. No, nobody's commenting anything. I mean, I don't want my live streams to just be me standing here waiting for comments either. I know that I do have a responsibility to keep it entertaining. But in a video titled Let's Hang Out, I would assume it would be a little more interactive. I don't know. My penis is a Jesus. I am a Jesus. Sorry, my grandpa likes to take over my body and make me say creepy things sometimes. Dave said, Help me out here, Dave. What is that in reference to? You know what I might do? I might move this. It told me the orientation is locked. I didn't try to rotate it, bitch. Yeah, I'm sitting on the floor. Bed cam? I don't know. I'm fine. I don't mind sitting on the floor. I've been doing these live streams for like 2 hours lately. I don't feel like I want to do that, though. Because Curb Your Enthusiasm comes out at 10, and I've just been, I've been waiting. I think it was fake account trying to make me do a shave live stream. I don't have anything to shave as of now. At least not anything that I would want to show anyone. Not that I'd want to show anyone my face either. You know what? I had this crazy ass motherfucker acting like I was his best friend after knowing me for like an hour and saying wildly weird or just inappropriate things that just did not did not have a place in that conversation. And then he'll apologize and say, "Do you hate me now?" And then he'll be like, I won't do that anymore." And then he'll do it again, or at least he would. Um, you know. And I'll give you some examples. He was like, this was like 2 days ago. This is just it's very recent. Um, Out of the complete blue, he just sends me, and he was in a group chat with me. He just sends the whole group chat these pictures. He was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm good. I'm just hanging out." And then they were talking. He was like, "Do you want a video call?" And someone was like, "Yeah, sure, later." And he was like, "Okay, what are you up to?" And he was like, "I'm just doing this." And then he goes, "I had heart surgery. I had open heart surgery in 2018." With like zero context, he just brought that up out of nowhere, and everyone's like, okay. And then he sends a bunch of pictures of himself, and everyone's like, "Well, how are you now?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." And then a few hours later, he was talking to me privately. He sent the same pictures to me, and just as randomly brought it up. He's like, "Here, I had open heart surgery in 2018." It's like, what? Where does this come from? Why are you telling me this? I already knew because I was in the group chat, and you should have known that. It is extremely weird. And then he kept, getting weirder, saying weird things. But then another weird thing happened out of the blue once again. He just goes, "Oh, by the way, my dad has a back surgery coming up next month. So if I text you that I had a nightmare, that's why." I was like, "What the fuck?" And again, it had no place in that conversation. We were not talking about anything related to that. I had actually just gotten through explaining to him that you know, he like I mean, he could probably infer that he weirded me out enough that I had to go message a friend of his to find out if this is like how he always is. And that person who I messaged was so thrown off, he ended up deciding to block him. He was like, I've never seen anybody like, I've never seen the side of him, is how he put it. Um, and so then the next day, it got to a point I had to explain to him. I was like, you know what? This is too much. You keep saying these inappropriate things to me, and I haven't told you the inappropriate things. It's not the examples I'm giving. I'm just giving you examples of how fucking weird he is. But he kept being really like pushy about liking me and Zach, even though he didn't know Zach at all. He just saw him in the background of a video call, and he barely knew me because in the call I was just making weird faces the whole time. We didn't really talk. So it just was so weird and so like unwarranted. So I said that to him. I said, you've been saying a lot of very unwarranted things, and you've made me very uncomfortable." And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you hate me now?" And I said, "I don't hate you. I just I just am uncomfortable, and I I just wanted to let you know that." And he's like, "Okay, can we still talk and be friends and video call?" And I said, "I don't think so. I'm sorry." And he said, "Okay." The next morning, he messages me and says, "Hey, bestie." I didn't respond. I left him on red. He reaches out to me on a different app a few hours later and says, "Good afternoon, bestie." Again, didn't even open that one. and then an hour later says, "Hey, bestie," on that same app. Then he goes back to the other app, the first one, sends me another "Hey, bestie" over there. I ignore all of these. This afternoon, I mean, I just got a "Hey." Just a "Hey," which is better than a "Hey, bestie." But, how clear could I have made it? I literally told him that we can't be friends anymore, and he responds he said okay, and then the next day, not even 24 hours later, "Hey, bestie?" 4 fucking times with no response? That's like fucking run. Run from that person. Holy shit. Um I haven't blocked him just because I kind of want to know if it's going to happen again. Like I, I don't want to just I don't want to just block him and then I won't know if he's trying to contact me. I think the scary thing about blocking people, crazy people, is that then you have less control over what's going on with them. Because what if, because they're blocked, they try to find some alternative way to get to you? They try to maybe find out where you live or find out your phone number or something like that. Or they get police involved. There's a number of things that could happen when you block someone. And the more you escalate it, the more they feel the need to escalate it. Because what you have to realize is that this person is obsessed with you. They're not just going to stop trying to contact you just because you blocked them. So, with people like this, um, you have to be very careful. I think it's safer to just ignore them, but, you know, keep an eye on them. Not throw them away, but just, keep them there so that you know what's going on. You have a little bit of control over it still. Besides, it's like free entertainment. With every "Hey" and "Hey, bestie," I'm like laughing with my friend about it because it's like it just gets crazier and crazier. But honestly, the fact that he didn't say "bestie" today, that's progress. Maybe he's learning that I met him 3 days ago. He's not my fucking bestie. We don't know each other, and the only things that I know about him are how goddamn weird he is. When I was like, well, what should I know about you? You know what he starts telling me? He goes, my favorite color is blue and purple. He names 2 colors to follow the statement, my favorite color is. He didn't say my favorite colors are. Just very little things like that. Quirky. He goes, my favorite animal is a dragon. Like, what the fuck? Is he nuts? Clearly. And these are the things I gotta know about him, right? His favorite color, his favorite animal, his favorite TV shows. Not like, I don't know, who he is as a person, what I can expect from my future interactions with him. None of that. Although I could infer for myself. I didn't need him to tell me. He got removed from that group chat because, I mean, clearly he's fucking nuts. I don't know why me though. Like nobody else. He didn't do this to anybody else. But that's what's so creepy. Like he locked onto me and just showed me a side of him that he didn't show to anybody else, which is like, what the fuck did I do? I didn't do anything. I just fucking existed. I know that people like say that I'm really nice, but I do have Discord actually. Why? I know that people say that I'm really nice, but I mean, I don't feel like he even really got to know me well enough to know that I'm more nice than the average person who's just being polite. Like, I am, but he didn't know that. We had like 5 seconds of interaction. And he's saying that I'm really nice. Like, well, I'm sure you wouldn't change your mind if you got to know me, but you don't fucking know that about me. Not for sure. I was just being as polite to him as anyone would have been. So fucking weird. I just don't understand, like, how someone operates that way. It creeped me the fuck out. Just the way, how many times he contradicted himself, broke down and said, I'm sorry, do you hate me now? To someone he had known for a few hours. Like, oh my god. Way over the top. Yeah, clearly he likes me. My Discord. I'm at Tristan Marion 4, same as my YouTube channel, on literally everything. So if you ever wonder if I have a social media, put in that username and I should come up. Nobody else has that username because Marion is not a very common last name. Tristan is not a super common first name. And I don't know that there really is anybody else with my first and last name whose favorite number is 4. So I'm good with that. If I had the opportunity, maybe, to just use my first and last name without a number, maybe I would have done it. But the problem is that that is taken on a lot of platforms like Instagram. There's somebody with my first and last name, and I don't know what I can do about that. I mean, I think celebrities can get away with having just their first and last name. Maybe one day if I'm famous, I can get rid of the 4, but I kind of like it. Taylor Swift has a 13 next to her name on everything. Not because she has to, because how many other Taylor Swifts are there, but because 13 is her favorite number. You would think 7 would be my favorite number. Since I was born on October 7th, I was 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Um, 7 is a recurring number in my life, but 4, for whatever reason, I've always been drawn to that number. And it just feels more like me, feels less forced. If I picked 7, it almost would have been like I felt like I was supposed to pick it. But 4, that's the number that I picked. I keep forgetting what it means in numerology. This is the chair that is supposed to recline, and it doesn't now because the handle that you're supposed to yank, that's what the wires look like. Just fucking sticking out. Zach sat down, gave this a yank, and then was just holding it in his hand. He doesn't know his own strength. I tried really hard to get the wires to slide back into this thing. I tried really hard. I tried duct tape. I tried everything. And I said, I need to just fucking shell out $300 for a new chair. I'm getting the exact same chair because I love this chair. And when I move out, I'm taking it with me. Well, no, yeah, I think I would have to. A lot of things from my room are coming with me when I leave. But then again, I can't really say anything like that for certain until I actually see what's available in wherever I go. Does it come pre-furnished? You know, shit like that is what I gotta consider. Because I can take my bed, I can take my chair, I can take my TV, I can take all this shit with me if I want to. Won't be super easy to transport a lot of it, but it'll be possible nonetheless. The TV may be the hardest. For sure. Yeah, because it's so fragile. It is thinner than my phone. It was $1,200. It's an OLED display. Very, very fragile. Very easy to damage. And I don't know. I would definitely want it to come with me. It's just a question of where will I put it? Will I jam it into a car? Bubble wrap for sure. Yeah, that's inevitable. I'm just still nervous. Like, I gotta make sure it's not getting banged around or anything. Even in bubble wrap. Because if I turn it on and I notice the display is fucked up in some way, I'm gonna be so mad. Because I think we're past the point of warranty with this TV. But yeah, It'll be fun. I do intend to move out this year. There's a lot that I intend to do. And the goal is to secure my independence. I think that there are a lot of things that stress me out and make me depressed that aren't even mine, because I'm realizing as other people, you know, leak their worries onto me, a lot of it isn't even something I would ever have thought in my own life. Like my aunt was telling me about how when she moved out, she wasn't prepared and she was really thrown off by things she just expected to be in the drawer, like scissors or tape. An example she gave me. And she makes it sound so scary, like, oh my god, there's not gonna be any scissors or tape, I gotta make sure I'm planning for this. And she was trying to help me avoid the same mistakes she made. But even if I had made those mistakes, who gives a shit? So what? There's no scissors. Go to the store and get scissors. You know, that's how you need to operate in life in general, is when you come across a situation that is unplanned and throws you off, you just go from there. Like, okay, well, now what? Just, just what am I gonna do? Have a breakdown and act like it's the end of the world and say, "Oh no, I shouldn't have moved out. This was a terrible decision." No, you pick yourself up and you go from there. I would never call someone sobbing and say, "Oh, I can't believe what I've done. I wasn't ready for this." Like, it's not that big of a deal, and I don't need anybody scaring me into thinking that it is. I'm good at dealing with unexpected situations, and I'm good at not breaking down. I'm a practical thinker. I just say, all right, well, what can I do? This wasn't what I planned for, but clearly I have to still move forward. So what are my options? And then I just pick the one that seems the easiest and makes the most sense, and I go from there. I cannot stand to be around people who have a tendency to just break down and act like it's the end of the world, because I start to think that that's how I'm thinking, and I don't even realize that's not even how I really function. That's not how I really think. I don't work like that. Zach, you know, we went driving 2 hours away to a Krispy Kreme in Erie, and there were some aspects of that where he was nervous and he was like, "Oh, now we're gonna be late," stuff like that. And I just had to calm him down and say, "It's not that big of a deal. The whole purpose of this is to enjoy ourselves. So make that the goal, and then just, you know, let unplanned, frustrating things not be so frustrating. Just figure out what you can do from there." That's something I'm really good at, and it does worry me a little bit that I would be moving somewhere with Zach, who does tend to break down and get freaked out pretty easily. But I think we maybe balance each other out. So it's probably for the best. I certainly wouldn't want to do it by myself because it'd be twice as expensive. Um, and I probably would get lonely. Even though I do really enjoy being alone, I enjoy Zach's company as well. So, all right, Royce went out to get cigarettes. The right pan, spoon, can opener. Yeah, well, the nice thing about that with me is that I'm the kind of person who will, like, if I was going to live by myself, I would probably have, like, I don't know, one dish, one I would be very minimal about it. And if I realized that I didn't have something that I needed, I would just make a plan B and be like, all right, well, I guess I don't need it. Maybe I don't actually need whatever this is. And if there is no plan B, then I'll just find a way to get whatever it is that I need. It's not that hard. Sorry? I'm not getting married this year. The fuck are you talking about? In the spring? When did she say that? I think somebody has to propose first. Zach and I have our 2-year anniversary on Tuesday. I can't believe it's been 2 years. To be honest, I feel like it's been a couple months. This has been the most, I don't know, uneventful 2 years, I want to say. Because It just is like a blur. And circumstantially, my life hasn't really changed since then. I've changed, but I'm always changing. I'm always learning. I'm always growing. But sometimes I go back and I look at things that I said and believed a couple years ago, and I'm like, wow, I knew this even then. So I think I underestimate myself. In some ways, I almost feel like I've gone downhill. Like, you know, there's times where I've been more motivated, more passionate, and that's really all that's ever missing. Is it's not like I need to just fill my head with information and learn. The best way to learn is through experience. So you have to go out and have experiences. You don't ever want to get stuck in a cycle. And I think a lot of people tell themselves that they need to, I don't know, do specific things before they can do other things. But the truth is, just do it. Sometimes you just gotta make a bold, random fucking move and go from there. Like, if I was crazy, I could probably just run away from home without making any plans. And I could probably continue from there. I could pick myself up. Oh, my grandma's commenting. Um, the thing is just that I know that that's not something that I need to do, but I don't know. It's nice to know that even if that was how I planned on doing it, I could still handle it because I'm good at thinking on my feet. It's sort of like when you're like afraid of, I don't know, something that you know you have to do, but it sounds really hard or scary, and you always do it. Going to work, going to school, there's like an important meeting, or I don't know, you have to, yeah, you're about to have diarrhea. I'll say that. Oh, you know what a good example is? Getting COVID, right? I had COVID back in November, and this is a perfect example. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. Something that you build up in your mind as this horrible, horrible thing. My whole family had it. We're all fine. It took we all recovered at different rates, and it fucked us over, but we're fine. You know, we aren't dead, and now we know what it's like. And sure, we may have had a mild strain, but that's the thing. There are all sorts of things that you can build up in your mind as scary, but the truth is, once they happen to you, all you can do is go forward from that point. All you can do is say, all right, well, now I'm in this situation. There's no reversing it. What can I do from here? And then you just do it. And yeah, sometimes it sucks a lot. Sometimes you might feel hopeless. But that's why hope is exactly what you always need. You don't want to be afraid of making moves and decisions just because you think that it could be hard. Life is hard. Do it anyway. Oh yeah, that that's marry a man thing. That was funny. It's a music video by The Lonely Island. It's Andy Samberg. We build things up to be bigger. And not only do we build things up to be bigger, but we also have this idea in our heads that we wouldn't be able to handle it if it happened. Like, regardless of whether or not we're exaggerating, we may be right. It may really be that bad. But what you have to remember is that even if it is that bad, it's not the end of the world. Nothing will ever be that bad, you know? It's not that you have to give up on life. Eh, My Slim Jim supply, I've got an unopened box of 14, and I'm finishing off this box. So I have 14 in a box, and then these three and this one. I haven't eaten them. I got them last week. I hadn't eaten them, and I just looked at them, and I got hungry, and I said, I don't care if I finish them before I go live. I'm eating them now anyway. It hit me in the nose. I don't like that. My grandma is in Florida. And her friend Linda, um, she just did some kind of performance of that song Boots. I don't know if it's called These Boots Are Made for Walking or if it's just Boots, but whatever it is. Um, she, my grandpa posted it on his YouTube channel. He recorded it. And it's very entertaining. I never knew she could sing. My grandma, who's known her since they were like, I don't know, like 10. They've known each other pretty much their whole lives. And my grandma never knew that Linda could sing. It is so funny. Because she just came out of nowhere with it. That's the kind of person Linda is. She'll just surprise you with shit that you never would have expected from her. She also is really good at lying. Like, um, she'll just make up stories and just talk to you like it's real. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I have this happen and blah blah blah," and no one would even suspect that she was joking. So she's very good at that. She's very funny. Um, she's a very entertaining person, and my grandma will be there for about another week. So she'll be back on Saturday, I believe. What is a week from today is the 31st, right? I think so. Because a week from today is the last day of the month. Then we got April Fool's Day on Monday, and that's gonna be ass. I hate April Fool's Day because I always forget what day it is. Like yesterday, I kept thinking it was Friday multiple times throughout the day. I thought it was Friday. It was Saturday all day yesterday. And I kept forgetting. So I'm gonna keep forgetting that it's April Fool's Day, and I'm gonna keep getting fucked over online by stupid shit. There's gonna be things trending that aren't real, there's gonna be videos that aren't real, and I'm gonna get excited about shit that's not real, and I'm gonna get mad about shit that's not real. I hate April Fool's Day, it's awful. It'd be more fun if I had somebody to prank. Anyway, um, there was this one YouTube channel, Mr. Creepypasta. He did a video on April Fool's Day, and I saw it not realizing that it was posted then. Um, like when it was older, I mean, I wasn't watching it in April, but I watched it years later and I saw it in the suggestions and I clicked on it, not realizing what kind of video it was. And he's telling this story, and he normally tells scary stories, and he's like, and I'm playing Mario Kart with my little brother after I had chocolate milk or something. And I decided to play a prank on my brother and I got up and I pulled my pants down and I decided to fart in his face. But what came out was liquid shit. And the way he words the next sentence had me fucking dying of laughter. He goes, "My peaceful playing little brother is now getting sprayed with shit." I was like, "What?" Like, oh my god, that was when I realized this is not this is not normal. So then I looked at the upload date and I was like, okay, it was a joke. There we go. Um, but yeah, his narration of it was very funny. My favorite scary story YouTuber used to be Mr. Creepypasta, but now it's Mr. Nightmare because he only tells true stories. And I love his voice. I love the little background music and the atmosphere. And you can just picture it happening because it's true. I mean, these are stories people send to him of like times that they almost got kidnapped, and there's always a theme like pizza delivery horror stories. You wouldn't believe how many of those there are. I'm never going to be a pizza delivery person. Holy jumping fucking Jesus. Can you imagine um the fear of you knock on someone's door and there's some creepy shit going on? Usually, luckily, with these stories, you can kind of tell beforehand that something is sketchy, but it's still creepy as hell. Because some of these stories, like, how would you have known that something like this was going to happen? Luckily, all of these people survive, and that's what I find so interesting is people say, oh, most murders, it's always someone who knows you. You're not very likely to be in danger of a stranger. It's usually you get killed by your husband or someone, your friend, your coworker, someone who knows you. Sure, the murders that actually happen, but what about all the murders that you get away from? The murders you survive? Almost all of the stories on Mr. Nightmare's YouTube channel are with strangers. Like, and yeah, these people survive these situations, but some of them almost don't. Like, so there is still a great danger from people you don't know, and you should be very careful all the time. But it is still worth noting that, a lot of murders that do end up happening are people that you're close to. You would never suspect until it happens. I think it's April 9th. I'm going to Dallas, Texas to see solar eclipse. Oh, cool. I'm pretty sure the solar eclipse is April 8th. Oh, good. Cheryl, check out Mr. Nightmare then. There's a sound effect in some of Mr. Nightmare's videos that sounds exactly like my grandma's car starting up. And I commented that when my mom and I got in her car the other day. I was like, this sounds just like Mr. Nightmare. There's I don't remember if I could, I don't know if I could find a video where that sound effect was used, but oh, there seems to be a little air in this one. I don't know if I trust it. Some of these you bite into them and it's like something's just off, but let's find out if something's gonna taste really disgusting in this Slim Jim. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh my god. Some Slim Jims are delicious, and some of them are that. Always pay attention to the color of your Slim Jim. This one looks good. I'm going to save it for last. Because what is wrong with Daisy? I don't know. She hurt her arm. She tripped over herself and hurt her right arm, I guess. You can get a cat in your own apartment. I'm allergic to cats. I don't want a cat. I don't want any pets. I don't like the hair. I don't like the attention that they require. I don't want a pet. It's too much energy. It's not fair to get an animal and then ignore it. I wouldn't be able to ignore it. And then there are other things that I wouldn't be able to do because I was spending too much time on my pet. I could get a fish. I could handle a fish if I wanted a pet. I've owned a fish before. Fish are easy. His name was Cheesy. He was a little goldfish. Although we never actually determined the sex of the fish. Could have been female. Doesn't matter. I love my mom and my grandma just having a conversation in the comments. Fish are better than plants. Yeah, for sure. But for now, I'm gonna not have a pet. Zach is like a pet. In fact, I regularly compare Zach to my dog. So my Zach will be my pet. You rub his belly, his leg shakes. He gets excited. And, you know, he doesn't have a tail, but his tail would be wagging. Like, you can see it in his face. You know what I mean? You know how even if you don't see the dog's tail wagging and you just look at the rest of their body, you know that the tail would be wagging if you could see it? It's kind of like that. So, yeah, there's that. If Zach wants a pet, there would have to be conditions. Um, because I can tell you right now for sure, I'm not in the headspace to be responsible for a pet. I already feel guilty enough for not spending a ton of time with Daisy. Um, and I've been spending a little more time with her just because everybody else is on vacation, but nevertheless, that is exactly why I know I could not own a pet. What do you mean, what the fuck am I eating? Did you really just ask me that? Yeah, pets are super expensive. When I see Daisy's vet bills, I'm like, holy shit, I'm glad I'm not the one paying that. Not to mention the expensive, like, the food and all sorts of other things that they require. Very expensive. My mom had a betta fish that would let her pet it. Interesting. Get him an igloo. Pink walls. The fuck are you guys talking about? Finally finished. It took way too long. Now I got a new curb coming out in an hour. I think I'm gonna end my live stream and watch the last two episodes because even though I've seen them, I've only seen them once, I think. Yeah, I only saw episodes 6 and 7 once, so I want to watch them again by myself. And I'll finish these off. Salt and vinegar chips. Tristan can eat mass amounts. I can. I'm always eating and I never gain any weight. I don't know what that is. I generally stay between like 130 and 135. That is my general weight. It fluctuates for sure, but I don't know why I don't gain weight. I'm like, I eat a lot. Linda loves American Horror Stories. Story or stories? Because those are two different shows. Um, American Horror Story has a totally different um, plot every season, and American Horror Stories has a different plot every episode. So, you know, and I kind of like that format where each episode is self contained. But it is still fun to get into a whole season. But either way, there isn't a show where it's like the same story throughout the one I like. Well, Grammy, I like both of them, and they both actually take place in the same universe. Um, like there's sometimes cross references in episodes, but yeah, you. So I don't know which one you're talking about, but if she said stories, maybe she watches both too. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't watch both. They're both good. American Horror Story season 12 still hasn't rebooted. They stopped it halfway through because of the writer strike and actor strike. And when that was finally over, they were allowed to start filming season 12 part 2, but I've heard zero updates on it. I haven't seen a trailer. I don't know anything. I don't know when it's coming out. Um they announced part 2 of Chucky season 3. That's coming on April 10th, which is coming up, and it's really fast. I don't know if they're releasing all 4 episodes on April 10th or if they're just going to start on April 10th. But either way, that's when that's resuming. I'm looking forward to it. I got Zach into Chucky. He likes that show now, although he doesn't seem interested in watching the movies. I never saw the movies, but because because I got into the show, I decided to buy the movies. So I have all 7 of them on Blu-ray now, which was the cheapest option because if I were to buy them on Amazon and they weren't on any streaming service that I could see, if I were to buy them on Amazon Video, it would have been, I don't know, like $100 for all of them. This was like $20. And it's 1080p quality for all of them. I have a Blu-ray player. I put it to good use. I think watching Blu-rays and shit, I think that shit's underrated. You know, people get so used to streaming. It is fun to like have a physical version of something. Um, I went through a phase once of being like obsessed with VHS and cassettes and vinyls, but I reached a point where I'm good with CDs, I'm good with DVDs and Blu-rays, mainly just Blu-rays, um, because honestly, just having the physical version is enough. Doesn't have to be the old school version of it. Vinyls take up too much space. I don't understand people who collect vinyls. Like, do you even use them? Do you actually put that on a record player and use it? And if you do, um, does it really sound better than if you were to use a CD player or I don't know, your phone and like a Bluetooth device? That's the thing. I feel like people just get it because they want to collect it and they just keep it in the collection. Some people I've seen them use the vinyls. I've seen it happen. And I've even seen people say that it sounds better, but I think it objectively sounds different, but I don't know if I would say better. What I don't like about vinyl exclusive songs is that you can't get a good audio rip of it the same way that you can from a CD. Like Taylor Swift has a song that's only available on a vinyl. I'm waiting for her to release it digitally because I can't get a good audio rip of it from a vinyl. So I didn't even bother to buy the vinyl because it's just a huge waste of money. And I don't have that much money. I unexpectedly got some money from my tax returns, but the original Chucky is the best 80s classic. Yeah, I mean, but they all take place in the same universe. Like the original Chucky is canon in the TV show Chucky. And I think they're all good. I think that my favorite is probably The Bride of Chucky, or maybe The Seed of Chucky, because because I think Jennifer Tilly is hilarious, and Seed of Chucky is like just a full blown comedy at that point. It's not even scary. It's a little gory, but it's mainly just funny and very very goofy. Jimothy still listens to vinyls. Oh God, of course he does. By the way, I never found out why Jason was saying that shit. He never really responded to me. I mean, he kind of did, but he sent me a video that he really could have sent to anyone. So I don't know. He never actually acknowledged what I said to him. I don't know what that was about. Very weird, very random. Lots of random shit. My brother listens to vinyls. He swears it's better. Nevertheless, um, it may be better, but is it worth it? Because you have to turn them around so many times because they can't fit that much onto a vinyl, and they take up so much space. I don't have room to collect that shit. People keep giving me shit to put in my room for like I don't know any reason, whether it be mail or birthday gifts or whatever. And I keep saying, don't give me anything. I don't have anywhere to put it. I don't want clothes. I don't want a candy. I don't know. I don't want anything. Just let me decide what I want. And if you want to help me get it, that's fine. But don't just decide without my knowledge that you're going to get me something because the odds are good. I don't have anywhere to put it. And then it's just going to not get used or go to waste. And that's a sad thing to have happen. My room is not big. I don't even have a closet in here. Scream 7 is in the works. Oh, great. I heard they got Nev Campbell to be back in it. She sat out the 6th one because I guess they didn't offer her enough to be in it and she was offended. But I think she's going to be in the new one, which is nice. they're also doing a new Freaky Friday apparently, and not a remake, a sequel with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, and they are they're doing a Beetlejuice sequel called Beetlejuice, and they just put out the teaser for that. It looks really good, but I don't know how they're going to explain the absence of Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. Like, how are they not in it? What, weren't they supposed to be in that house just as ghosts? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how it could take place in the same house. Everything looks the same. They even have the little the set, that Alec Baldwin's character built. Can't remember his name. Um, Barbara and something. I can't remember his name, but whatever. The set that he built, the model is there, but the characters are not. They better explain it. I mean, they're gonna have to at this point. Because they got Catherine O'Hara, they got everybody else. Um. So yeah, I don't think I have time to watch 2 episodes of Curb in a row. I think if I did that, it would be it would be 10 before I was done. So maybe I'll just watch episode 7 again, because I remember episode 6. That's when he was peeing. And I kind of watched that one again in the background. I didn't really pay attention to it as much the second time, but episode 7 I for sure only saw once. Can Lindsay still act? I actually just saw her in a movie, some St. Patrick's Day movie, and I wasn't watching it. My aunt had it on, and I was just in the background eating, and it was just there. But it looked so bad. It was like 100% the kind of movie that's been done before like a million times. It just seemed like a Hallmark movie. And it was you know, didn't really have like a hook other than the fact that it starred Lindsay Lohan. Um the ending was very cliche too. I think it was a Netflix original. I think she was the only reason anybody would have watched it, to be honest. But as far as I can tell, she can still act. I don't know how someone can forget to do that, how to do that. Thank you guys for spamming my comments. I actually appreciate it because I think more comments is good for the algorithm. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna watch episode 7 of Larry David. There's a lot of yelling in this episode. I remember it starts out where he gets a phone call in the middle of the night, like 2 in the morning, from this woman who he barely knows, telling him that her husband is dying, possibly, that he's in the hospital. And I was like, what, who is this person? Have we gotten any mention of her in a previous episode? He didn't seem to even know why she picked him. He was like, "Why are you calling me?" She's like, "Well, I just thought that you would want to know." He's like, at 2 in the morning that he had a heart attack. He wasn't even dead yet. So, then he got into a fight over who was gonna take care of the guy's daughter. Oh God! And then the daughter, she's like, my my daughter is identifying as a cat this week. Oh my God. I never know where he's going with things. Like, because he just says shit. The series finale officially has a title. It's called No Lesson Learned. Do I want popcorn? Well, there aren't very many chips left. I could probably finish this in like 10-15 minutes. It's like a very small section of the bag. So if you wanted to make popcorn, would you make it the same way you did last time? Because last week you made popcorn. That was good. I would eat that. But let me eat my salt and vinegar chips first. Yeah, Grammy, plug yourself in. I'm gonna leave anyway. I'm gonna watch last week's episode, and then it should be done around the time that the new one comes out. I'll watch it at 10. Oh, I guess I can go downstairs too. My mom just said come watch Daisy. Oh yeah, did Tracy go to sleep? I guess she would have. Love the chat tonight, right? Yeah, my family popped in. I was like, why does this feel heavier? It's because there's a whole Slim Jim in here, and it's bullshit. Let me stab it. It's bullshit. It doesn't want to stab. These are not very strong scissors, but I use them for opening things. If I ever, like, I don't know, order a CD, I'll just... And I use them for Slim Jims, primarily. These are the kinds of things that I would bring with me to an apartment. Oh man, you know what's funny is that, like, I generally know what I use in a day, what I use in a week, what I use in a month. I would know what I'd be missing. Weak scissors. Yeah, I don't need strong scissors. I mean, I suppose there are some instances where they could come in handy. I'm not saying I won't buy scissors of my own, but I take these with me. They have uses. I was just sitting on my foot and I think it fell asleep. Because it's fucking dead. Okay. Yeah, all my pants look like this. They're just gray and boring. There's no rips or anything. Alright, so I'm gonna head downstairs now, but, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh. Yeah, my mom's giving you instructions on how to make the popcorn she made. I do hope to be able to do my laundry. I just don't know if it's available. I suppose I can do it tomorrow. Dear, that would be fun. Indeed, a good way to make popcorn. I shall see you all next week.